All right, this is my research paper presentation. I did my research presentation on anxiety and specifically on what's called GAD or GAD, Generalized Anxiety Disorder. This is my handout. I'll get a little closer into it so you can kind of see it. If you need to pause it and come back to it, you can. But anxiety is a natural human physiological response that helps us respond to potential threats or danger. Uh, Truthfully, anxiety is not inherently bad until its effects permeate everyday life. In fact, some anxiety in your life gives you drive and motivation to do different things. Gary Collins, which is one of the authors that I used whenever I was writing my research paper, he even says that moderate anxiety motivates people and adds zest to your life. So it really makes your life exciting. It gives you, it's kind of what causes that butterfly feeling in your stomach when you're going to get on a roller coaster or you're going into something important. So anxiety is good, but it's whenever anxiety begins to get severe and permeates, like I said, your everyday life, your mundane tasks, whenever you begin to worry and fret over all those types of things, that's when anxiety becomes a problem. In fact, one of out of every 75 Americans struggle with unhealthy anxiety, and 2/3 of those people are women. As I said, anxiety is not bad, but too much anxiety over a longer period of time is harmful. The causes are range from physical, psychological, environmental, couldn't get the word out, but all those causes, and due to the varying causes, the counselor must make a thorough evaluation of the client before they make their counseling plan so that they can have a positive effect on the counselee, on the client, on the one looking for help, because severe anxiety does require outside help, because you can't. So that's one part of the do not isolate yourself from places or situations that cause anxiety. Do not expect generalized anxiety disorder to go away on its own, and do not try to hide or bury your feelings of anxiety. Instead, you need to seek professional help, because there's enough ways nowadays that people can give the help that you need. And so, generalized anxiety disorder is an anxiety disorder in which a person is continually tense, apprehensive, and in a state of autonomic nervous system arousal. That means all the time, in the little tasks and the big tasks, whatever is going on, they have this sense of anxiety, this worry, this fear deep down within them. And there's not no cookie cutter thing. There's not one cause for everybody. There's not this one common thing shared between everybody. Besides the effects of it, the causes range so widely, and it's so hard to find out. But so if you have GAD, you need to seek professional help via counseling. And then the therapy process and the counseling process, the counselor needs to assess the causes, whether they be environmental, biological, whether it be people or situations. The counselor needs to take all these things into consideration so that they can give and present a method, a plan, so that the counselee can be freed of this anxiety, because it will literally crumple you. It causes, the effects are terrible. I think I have some over here. Increased worry and anxiety. This increased worry and anxiety make it harder for the individual to function without fear. And severe generalized anxiety disorder can lead to OCD, panic attacks, social isolation, heart palpitations, depression, fatigue, and suicidal thoughts and actions. So all this is the reason why, if you're struggling, or if you know someone who's struggling with severe anxiety, that they need to seek professional help. So I believe that the therapist should start with direct, closed questions to find if there's a history of severe anxiety, if there's biological influences, because if so, there may need to be medical intervention, or to see if it's just, my little puppy is jumping all over me right now. But if there's people or situations that's causing it, and as they ask these direct, closed questions, they can shift to indirect, open questions, so that they can begin to tell what the counselee can begin to tell what the feelings they have are, what things it is causes them anxiety the worst, so that the counselor can give ways to set them free from all that. And so, 3 ways that I have wrote down that generalized anxiety disorder can be treated is, the first one is through CBT. It's cognitive behavioral therapy. One way that I saw kind of interesting was the exposure therapy method of cognitive behavioral therapy. And then being that it is cognitive and behavioral, the counselor asks questions to find out what the worst causes of their anxiety is. And as they go through these questions, the counselor will actually teach the counselee, the client, methods in which they can relax and they can meditate maybe after they're exposed to these different areas in which their anxiety is heightened, so that they can begin to deal with it. They can face it. They're not burying it. They're actually hands-on dealing with it. And this works in many cases of generalized anxiety disorder. But again, it plays so much within the person, the counselee seeking help, and the counselor should be sensitive to their needs. Another way they do it is nutritional intervention. I actually found this very cool. There's a newer research paper that I'd read. And in this nutritional intervention, there's this process. So proper nutrition leads to healthy neurotransmitters, leads to a stronger mind, a better mood, and a better environment. The main focus was getting processed foods out, refined sugars out, and get more magnesium and omega-3 fatty acids in, so that the person can begin to build more healthier neurotransmitters. They feel better mentally. They get more energy physically, and then again, in return, they have a better mood, which creates a better environment, a better counseling and therapy environment. Lastly, we have environmental intervention. In this process, the counselor will evaluate the counselee's life. They will pay attention to relationships, jobs, and living places to see if there's any one of those specifically that is causing the counselee to have worse anxiety. And I thought it was cool. Usually counselors are not to give advice or encourage the counselee to make certain decisions. But in that one, the counselor is to be like, look, if you're in this job, you need to consider something else. Or if you're in this environment, if you're in this relationship, you need to consider something else to get true release from your anxiety. And there's 4 R's that through environmental intervention that the counselee gets to experience for the first time. That is right rules, rituals, reasons, and regard. And through all those things, there's a sense of security that is given to the individual dealing with anxiety. And in return, they have freedom that they hadn't had previously. And lastly, we have Scripture. I do believe that Scripture is going to play a huge part in getting through generalized anxiety disorder and getting out on the other side stronger and with more peace, because truly God is the giver of all real peace and lasting peace. That's what I have, because Scripture gives lasting peace and true comfort to those who seek it. And if you look over here, I have some scriptures wrote down. Specifically, Psalm 23 is kind of a more popular scripture to memorize, to recite, because it reminds you how God is pursuing you day in and day out, how He is caring for you, how He, even whenever you go down into the valley of the shadow, He is still there with you. But for some, especially with anxiety disorders, they kind of relate that to death, and so it may not be the best route. So I have some other ones. Really, a bunch of the Psalms I have 37:5, which is commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act. Psalm 56:3, when I'm afraid, I put my trust in you. All of these things contribute to better. It contributes to the mental well-being of these people dealing with anxiety. Alongside those, I have 1 Peter 5, 6, and 7, and 1 Corinthians 6, 19 through 20. So this is my presentation. I hope y'all enjoy it, and I'll see y'all next time.